Hi there, it's Wade McMaster from CreatorImpact.com. In this video, I'm going to be talking about useless elements on your website you should consider getting rid of. The first one is anything that takes your visitors off-site. Now, that might sound like a pretty black and white statement, but it does depend a little bit. The idea is if you're trying to keep people on your website, especially if it's a blog or an e-commerce site, is you want to make sure if there's anything on your website that is sort of distracting people or sort of enticing them to leave and go elsewhere, you need to find a way to get rid of that altogether. It's just not serving its purpose. Now, this might not necessarily be the case 100% of the time. If it's a blog post and you're referencing something, like maybe you're referencing a statistic or something like that, having a link off your site it's okay, but you want to make sure it opens in a new tab. So setting up that link so it opens in a new tab. But what we're talking about is common elements or common things you're putting on there and pushing on your website that might distract and simply send people the other way. It's just because of what you're trying to do. Most people are setting up websites to be something of an online resource or platform that makes them money or delivers some kind of value. That if you're getting people onto your site and working hard to get them there and then sending them off again, it's kind of a waste of time. So just a good idea. Focus on things that giving people what they want and not sending them off site. That's the first tip today for useless things you need to remove from your blog. And the second one is to remove non-relevant pages from your navigation. Now, the thing about navigations, usually it's at the top of the page, and a lot of people like to jam every page under the sun up onto that navigation. And to be honest, it's kind of just intimidating. You know, there's an old saying that basically the more options you give people, the less likely they are to choose. And it's definitely the case with navigation, because navigation isn't just a place that people go to find what they want. It's a place for you to advertise areas of your website quite visually by using certain keywords for certain pages. So if you are basically running a pet shop and you have dog training, if people land on that website and they see all the products that you're selling for your pet shop, they don't know you do dog training, but in the navigation, there's only 5 items on there. There's home, about, products, dog training, contact us. Then people know straight away that, oh, these people also do dog training, and it becomes an effective kind of advertisement for what it is they're offering outside of their primary sort of niche, so to speak, but only if it's something they really want to push. So with that in mind, thinking about your navigation, trying not to have every single thing there, like having, you know, tools and links and resources and about me and off Facebook and Instagram and all these bits and pieces. Try to trim it down. Try to keep people in a certain narrow range and give them what they need within those pages. So if you're looking at, if you've got a whole range of products you want to sell, you don't want to list them all at the top. You want to say products. They get to that page, they can see that. Or even better, if the products serve different purposes, maybe one's for losing weight, maybe one's for gaining muscle on the fitness side. You have weight loss, you have gaining muscle, and on those pages you have links off to your products. But instead of trying to be too gung-ho with the nav, trim it down, keep it simple, focus on what's really important, and try to sort of guide people through your site a little bit with the options you give them. So trimming down your navigation is definitely a tip I recommend if you're looking to improve the effectiveness of your website in general. Now, the third thing you need to remove is, especially for a blog, anything that pushes content below the fold. Now, we're talking about blog posts here primarily. If you're on a homepage, sometimes you have something there to get people's attention and get that subscription. If that's the main focus of your homepage, then technically that is above the fold. So whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever it is you're trying to deliver first and foremost, that needs to be on the screen straight away when people land on your site. If they have to scroll, they may not even scroll. So it's a simple case of increasing your probability. If they can see it without scrolling, the chances are that they might act on it far more likely than if they have to scroll down just to even see it in the first place. Especially with blog posts. The whole idea of running a blog and getting people onto your site with content marketing is to give them what they want first and put your hand out second. The idea is to give them content and have them get the value that you deliver and become, be happy with what it is you've given them, and then you hit them up for that subscription or for that sale or whatever it is. So making sure your blog's nice and visible and starts above the fold on the screen where people can see it is very important, because if some people land and they see something that they don't want to see, they might not even realize there's a blog post down below. They might just think, oh, okay, I'm done. This isn't what I want, and they might just simply go back. So keep that content above the fold, remove anything apart from your navigation, of course. Navigation is important, but anything apart from your navigation that keeps that content below the fold, remove it until it gets up there. That's the third tip for you on this one. Now the fourth one is to make sure you remove anything that distracts from the functionality of your website. So if anything distracts from your content, if anything distracts from your call to action, if anything distracts from the basic and subtle branding you use to try and elevate who you are and let people know who you are, you need to get rid of it. Now I've got a couple of videos that might support this basically. One about social media profiles, and if they're sort of distracting people, if you're putting your Facebook feed, your Twitter feed and your Instagram feed on your site, but you're not necessarily, you've been trying to get people onto the site in the first place, get rid of them because they're setting people off site, which is one of the first tips we went through. But at the same time, it's an element on the screen that is just there and it's distracting. Popping unnecessary pictures on the page, people do that a lot. Get rid of them. Different if it supports your content though. Sometimes images can support what you're talking about in your content. They can also visually break up the content, make it easier to scan. That's all okay. That's serving a purpose. Therefore, it is supporting the functionality of your site. But if you just got bits and pieces on there for the hell of it, like, just get rid of it. And a lot of people just spend too much time trying to put too many things on a page. So just make it nice and simple, remove all the distractions and get people focused on the content and the call to action. Everything else is pretty much just not so much elements, but the way you present that content and the way you present that call to action that makes you professional, that makes you clean cut. So something to consider when becoming distraction free, just making it nice and simple, being minimalist in your approach. Now finally, you need to remove anything which you think your visitors are pretty much not going to like. Because if you're trying to get people on there, you're trying to give people what they want, but you start putting things on there which they're not going to like, then you need to reconsider whether that's worth putting on there or not. If you aren't giving people what they want, even if your call to action is something that you think people won't like, then I don't see anyone really clicking on or following through that call to action. If you already know that they don't like it, then the formula you're working with is, well, broken basically. So you want to make sure what you're offering is always what they like. One thing you can do is simply alter the way you present things. For example, if I have a blog post that's really good, people love it, and I put, please subscribe to my email list, and a pop-up, and it pops up right in front of them, right when they get into a really interesting part of the blog, they're not going to like that. So they might just simply get rid of it. And I've used pop-ups a lot. I am trimming down these days for this reason. If you simply change the way you do things, instead of having it pop up, have it on the page in that section, something small that's actually giving that call to action. Even better, instead of having that call to action saying, here, sign up and give me something, which is your email address, turn it into an offer. Turn it to something that's, download my free PDF checklist on the most effective ways to do this, 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 and that, or whatever it is. You turn that around, make it into a positive, something they want, then they're likely to click on it, and that's when you do the exchange. So you click on it, you have an automatic pop-up then, it says to download this, please subscribe to our email newsletter. You can unsubscribe at any time, and that's a good way of putting things on your page that people actually want. You're being giving, they're getting what they want, they're getting good content, they're getting an offer that's useful to them, and that is just kind of a mental approach to designing a website. The idea is not to try and because people, you can't see what they're doing, you can't watch them on your website, people are anonymous, so they feel safe simply telling you to go away or just going, oh look, I'm not really interested in being here. They're very comfortable simply leaving your website because they know you can't see them. So you need to make sure what you're offering is what they want. Make everything you offer what they want. Even if you put it up and you think it's not what they want, think of a way to turn that around. So that's pretty much 5 basic tips for you, how to remove the useless elements from your website. I hope you found that useful. If you did, please give it a like, and if you want more information like this, please consider hitting subscribe below. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you again next time. Have a good one.